There's a local yoga company that's bringing free community yoga classes, events, and retreats to you through their mobile model. Here to tell us all about their activities in San Antonio is the owner and founder of Mobile Om, Cassandra Foss. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, thanks for coming out here today.
Thank you.
Especially on this beautiful day. I feel like we really lucked out. Yeah.
Totally.
So I've done a little research. Mobile Om is the first mobile yoga fitness studio in San Antonio. What inspired that?
You're correct. Yeah, we started in 2013. I was kind of a new transplant to San Antonio. I noticed that not a lot of people were doing yoga, so I wanted to make it more accessible, a little more casual, a little more approachable for people. And I also love being outside, so a lot of it was to try to get people to come outside and to experience different places in San Antonio.
I love it. So you're kind of going all over, and we'll talk about that a little bit later, but right now I really want to know what we're seeing right in front of us. Talk us through these moves and just kind of what these models are demonstrating today.
Okay, so these are all yogis that are showing you different variations of a sun salutation. Something that we try to do is to approach things for all different levels of practice. So they're about to come up and they're going to show you a shape. They'll come over into side angle. So let's start right over here. So this is a typical side angle shape that I would cue in a yoga class. And this is accessible for some people. Sometimes people need to take it a little bit deeper. They can, straighten their lower arm like the person right behind, or even come all the way into a bind like Chrissy has right over here.
Now with the different movements, would you say this is a full body movement? Like are some targeting certain areas or almost all the movements targeting full body?
So it's a little bit of both. So yoga actually means to yoke. So we're trying to engage the whole body, but we definitely have different shapes that, for instance, this is a hamstring stretch. You're gonna feel that a lot more in your hamstring than other parts of your body, definitely.
When you talk about feeling it in parts of your body, for people at home who might not be that flexible, what's your advice to them, even just walking through some of these movements? What are some advice you would give for people that are trying to do these particular movements?
Well, first of all, I would say that yoga is not about necessarily physical flexibility. It's more about your mental flexibility. So if you're having a challenge with a pose, giving yourself permission to maybe modify the pose to find a way that you can make it accessible. So even if you're in a balance shape, if you're near a wall, why not use the wall to help you out until you're able to get a little more accessible into that?
I would love to see that. Okay,
Yeah.
so let's look at this movement right here. How are you gonna, if you're not as flexible, how are you gonna find a way to make this work for you?
So you could she could drop her back knee. Let me have you drop your back knee here. So this is definitely makes it a little more accessible for people. You can take it into your hand on your hip if this is like too much in your upper shoulder. There's lots of different ways depending on our shapes that we're able to, meet you where you are, because the most important thing is that you're able to stay present and stay connected and not to get too frustrated with the process.
I love it. Now, I hear there are a lot of health benefits to yoga. What are they?
So, first of all, yoga is a great way, like you said, to focus on different parts of your body. It's also for our mental health. So as we find these different shapes, as we're approaching it, and again, finding that mental flexibility, obviously the breathing helps with our heart rate, it helps with our stress levels. It can also be beneficial in our classes specifically. We're outside, we're getting fresh air. And I think a huge part of coming to classes is the community aspect and how much we need that for our mental health.
I love it. Now, speaking about your classes, you have a lot of events coming up. How can people find those?
Well, it's the perfect time to get outside. So you can check us out at mobileomtx.com to find all of our classes, but specifically we are all around the downtown area. We're at the Tobin Center, we're at Confluence Park, we're at Legacy Park, San Pedro Creek, so all over the downtown area and some really iconic spaces.
Cassandra, this is awesome. Models, we appreciate you. Y'all have done some great movements for us today. I know people are probably inspired to go outside, especially on a beautiful day like this. We really appreciate your time. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much. All right, everybody, be sure to stick around because coming